Welcome back to Saxon Math. This is lesson 118, estimating area. In lesson 86, we used a grid to estimate the area of a circle. Recall that we counted squares with most of their area within the circle as whole units. We counted squares with about half of their area in the circle as half units. In this figure at the right, we have marked these half squares with dots. We can use a grid to estimate the area of shapes whose areas would otherwise be difficult to calculate. So for example, if you had a 1-acre grid placed over an aerial photograph of a lake, estimate the surface area of the lake in acres. So let's say you've got this particular lake and it's an aerial photograph, so you can see that the outline of the lake is an odd shape. So now you're going to try to estimate the area of it. So the solution would just simply be that each square on the grid would represent an area of 1 acre. The curve is the shoreline of the lake, and we can count each square that is entirely or mostly within the curve as 1 acre. We count as half acres those squares that are about halfway within the curve. Those squares are marked with dots in the figure below. We ignore the bits of squares within the curve because we assume that they balance out the bits of squares we counted that lay outside the curve. We can count 37 entire or nearly entire squares within the shoreline. We also count 10 squares with about half of their area within the shoreline. 10 half squares is equivalent to 5 whole squares. So we estimate the surface area of the lake to be about 42 acres. And you can check to see if your answer is reasonable by multiplying 10 times 6 and subtracting the squares outside of the lake. So because there's 10 this way and 6 this direction. All right, let's try an example here. So let's estimate the area of a paw print that you can see below. Describe the method you use to answer. So here we can see that this would be, well, approximately half here. So I'd probably count that as half. This would be about half. Looking at this would be considered as like maybe one whole. You have to look at it and look at which ones are full squares to start with. So I see there's 1, 2, 3 for sure, 4 for sure. This one is so close. If we just added this little portion into here, that's 5. If we took these two little portions right here, that would be 6. If we put this and combine it with that, we definitely would have 7. This with these portions would be 8. Then I can count the halves. If I didn't put a dot in there, let me see. I'm going to take those dots out for now because I kind of added those into those other parts already. So, and I added that in. So I already counted that. But if I've got here half, this is about half. So those pieces right there would probably count for the 7th. So that would be 7. These pieces right here would be probably 8. Or sorry, I gotta go back because I already had 7 and 8. So let me have 9 here. These pieces here would probably be the 10th. Then if I have this part along with this part, that would be 11. Then if I have this and this would be 12. This one plus this one here would be 13. And then I've got these little pieces in here. There's still little shivers of things. So I'd probably say I would want to have 14. You could even count up to 15 for each of the paw print portions in that. So that's it for today, guys. That's the one problem you have that you need to estimate. So I would say you could have estimated anywhere from 14 to 15 probably for the paw print shown below. Just using that method where you simply count the number of squares that are full and then try to manage each one of those little half pieces or some of these little sections here and consider how much they might make up and add those as additional whole pieces once you do that. So like this would be considered possibly one whole, that'd be another one whole. So in the total, you would have at least 14, maybe 15. Excellent work. Make sure you do written practice 1 through 30 again. It's very important that you complete all 30 of those. We are nearing the end of the Saxon text. Excellent job. We will see you next time.